This is why India's first nuclear test in 1974 was delayed by 5 minutes 51 years ago. India surprised the world by conducting its first nuclear test under the leadership of then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, often referred to as the Iron Lady. She described the test as a peaceful nuclear explosion. However, the United States, displeased with the move, responded by cutting off the supply of nuclear materials and fuel to India. The test marked a turning point in India's history, signaling the beginning of its nuclear journey. Despite opposition from the global nuclear non-proliferation regime, India's so-called peaceful nuclear explosion positioned it among the select group of nations with nuclear capabilities. On May 18, preparations for the nuclear test were finalized. A scaffold was set up 5 kilometers away to monitor the explosion, where senior military officers and scientists gathered to observe. Scientist Virendra Sethi was sent to the test site for a final inspection. However, when the jeep at the site failed to start, Sethi had to walk 2 kilometers to the control room, resulting in a 5-minute delay from the scheduled 8 a.m. detonation time. After 7 years of dedicated effort, a team of 75 scientists and engineers successfully brought the top-secret nuclear project to completion. The initiative was led by Dr. Raja Ramanna, then director of the Bhabha Atomic Research Centre BARC. Among his team was APJ Abdul Kalam, who would later go on to lead India's 1998 Pokhran nuclear tests. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had given verbal approval for the construction of a nuclear testing facility during her 1972 visit to BARC, maintaining strict confidentiality until the day of the test. Despite the US being unable to gather intelligence on the operation, it responded by imposing sanctions on India. However, Soviet Russia extended its support to India during this period. India's political leadership remained conflicted about pursuing a nuclear weapons program. Despite growing security concerns, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru was reluctant to develop nuclear arms, even after China conducted its first nuclear test at Lopnur in 1964. His successor, Lal Bahadur Shastri, also resisted domestic pressure to carry out nuclear tests in response. Instead, during his 1964 visit to Britain, Shastri sought security assurances from established nuclear powers rather than opting for an indigenous nuclear buildup. When Indira Gandhi became Prime Minister in 1966, she charted a different course from her predecessors. Unlike Nehru and Shastri, who were cautious about pursuing nuclear weapons, Gandhi adopted a tougher and more pragmatic stance, particularly toward the discriminatory Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT). She gave the green light to India's nuclear establishment to develop the capability for a functional nuclear explosion that could be presented as a peaceful test if needed. Swipe left for next video. After years of determined work by Indian nuclear scientists through the 1960s and early 1970s, the country was finally prepared for a defining moment. On May 18, 1974, India conducted its first nuclear test Pokhran-1, codenamed Smiling Buddha, in an underground facility in Rajasthan. Though officially described as a peaceful nuclear explosion, the test effectively showcased India's nuclear weapons capability, placing the country in the elite group of nuclear-armed nations. The successful detonation triggered a surge of national pride, but it also drew sharp international criticism and heightened concerns of a potential arms race in South Asia. Latest blogs.